Here's a song called Wonderful.
You are perfect in your own way. You are beautiful in your own way. Every day now, make it your day, 'cause it's wonderful in its own way. There's just a one you and one me, and that's wonderful in its own way. There's just a one you and one me, and that's wonderful in its own way, in its own way. Life has chose you to express yourself just as you are, just as you are, without fear. Plant a new thought, watch it grow up in its own way. Life has chose you, life has chose you to express yourself just as you are. There's just a one you and one me, and that's wonderful in its own way. There's just a one you and one me, and that's wonderful in its own way. A one in a billion is what you are. That alone changed the world. I am grateful, I am grateful. There's just a one you and one me, and that's wonderful in its own way. There's just a one you and one me, and that's wonderful in its own way, in its own way.
Well, good morning. Welcome to Agape. Yes, here we are, Sunday, January the 9th, 2022. It's good to be with you. And I'm grateful that you're with me at Agape. Agape means unconditional love, the love of God operating through the human heart. And what we teach about love at Agape is that love is about acceptance, is that when you learn to truly, fully accept yourself, you're fully loving yourself. So do me a favor, wherever you're watching from, check in. Let me know you're out there. Hit a like button, hit a share button, hit a button. Just don't hit the off button. How's that? And so know that today we're going to continue on our series about the 10 core concepts of science of mind. My goal this year is to really go heavy into the science of mind, to give you as deep a foundation and the teachings of Ernest Holmes that have meant so much to me in my life. So with that in mind, let's just take a moment and let's go within. I invite you to come to a comfortable seated upright position with your back straight, your hands gently resting on your lap, and close your eyes. And let your mind quiet down as you focus on breathing in and breathing out. And as you breathe in and breathe out, I want you to breathe into your heart center, that space in the center of your chest. And as you breathe there, I want you to visualize your heart opening, expanding. I want you to see a bright, brilliant green light emanating in your heart. Green is the color of the heart chakra. And so with that energy spinning clockwise, visualize that energy now moving into your upper body, into the top of your head, down your shoulders, into your hands and your fingers. Feel that green energy now move through your chest, your back, your abdomen. It moves into your hips and down your legs, ankles, feet, and toes. That energy fills every cell. It fills the space between the cells. You are now surrounded by that green heart energy. And that energy, that light, is healing your heart. It's opening you up to experience intimacy, to be intimate, to release any wounds of the past because they no longer serve. The past does not exist, only this now. In this now, this green light has healed your heart center. Your heart center is fully open, ready to give, and ready to receive in perfect balance. Because love is a circular thing. It is a giving and receiving of acceptance. I accept you, you accept me. I accept me, I accept you. That's all love is accepting. Beyond that, we enter the world of liking. But we're not talking about liking today, we're talking about love. Because love is the basis from which everything happens. So just sort of feel your heart right now. Feel what it's like to be in it. Notice it's not judging. There is no judgment in the heart ever. That's the ego that comes in and judges. And so with no judgment, with full acceptance of who you are right now in this moment, it's easy to come back to this time and this place with an open heart. So gently start to feel yourself coming back into your body. And as you come back into your body, gently begin to move. And when you're ready, open your eyes and bring yourself back to this time and this place. Well, today, we're going to continue our series on the science of mind, the 10 core concepts. Today, we're going to be looking at core concept number 2, the triune nature. You see, core concepts are the basic theories of how the universe works. We'll look at these core concepts from both the divine aspect, the universal aspect, as well as the human perspective, because they're focusing at both the macro level, the divine level, and the micro level, the human level. And I think it's real important that we understand it from both levels so that we can see how do these concepts work? How do they interact with us in our life? And so in the core concept, the triune nature, we're going to look at this from the universal perspective. God, the universe, is triune or threefold in nature, having 3 aspects or modes of being within the one: spirit, soul, and body. Spirit, soul, and body. Spirit, soul, and body. And God is the macrocosm. The macrocosm meaning the allness, nothing bigger. This is the ultimate. So with God as spirit, it is universal mind in conscious mode. God as spirit is love, it's self-knowing, it's spontaneous, it's originating, it's reasoning, it's directing, it's exercising will, volition, and choice. In other words, it's the creative spark. It's the creative force. It's the first cause. It is the divine idea. It is that which it has imagined, and it creates an idea of it, and it knows this idea for itself. So strictly speaking, the term spirit means God in the conscious mode, but it's frequently used as a synonym for the whole of God. But we're not talking about the whole of God. We're talking about, when we're saying spirit here, we're saying the conscious mode of God, that aspect of God that thinks. God as the soul is universal mind in the subjective mode. God as soul is the universal subjective, sometimes called universal law or creative medium. It has no volition of its own. It manifests impersonally the directives implanted by spirit. In other words, think of it this way. The soul aspect of us has no volition. It has no judgment. It simply responds to the spirit. It responds to the objective nature. It responds to the spirit side of God. All it does is respond. In one sense, the soul is all of the unformed substance or energy from which all forms emerge. In another sense, it is the reservoir of all race memory and is often called race consciousness. So there's a couple key things I want to unpack here. The soul aspect of God is where everything gets created. All the unformed substance, unformed energy is there. The soul now knows how to take what the spirit has declared, and it knows how to take it and create out of it this unformed substance. So it's not the conscious mind, it is the unconscious mind. So as it's also part of the unconscious mind, there's a second element here, and that it is the storehouse of all memory. Everything that has ever been thought, spoken, acted upon, whatever, is stored here. And this is often called race consciousness. In other words, the human race consciousness, the consciousness of the human race from the beginning of eternity. Everything exists within this soul medium. After we've got spirit, soul, God as body is the physical universe. All the forms it contains, all visible manifestations of invisible cause. Form is always an effect. It is never a cause. The easiest way to define this is that, let's break it down. Spirit, seed, soul, soil, body, plant. The seed is planted in the soil creates. The soil, when a seed is planted, an apricot seed, does not produce a plum tree. It produces an apricot tree. The soil only gives what is planted in it. This is at the universal level. This is at the divine level. So let's break it down and let's now switch this and let's go to the human level. Each human being is in a projection of God in microcosm. Thus, it is endowed with the triune nature of God and expresses that nature in all three aspects or modes of his or her being, spirit, soul, and body. So in other words, we have spirit, conscious mind. Conscious mind thinks, it creates a thought. That thought then is implanted into the universal mind. Now, we don't have an individual universal mind. We're using the full universal mind. So our conscious mind is not the full consciousness of spirit. We only have a part of that. We're only partially aware of what's conscious. But what we take as consciousness, plant that in the universal, that will demonstrate in our physical life. My conscious mind is universal spirit individualized as my spirit. It is a source of my intellect, my spontaneity, my capacity to love, to reason, to originate, to choose, and to take charge of my life. When we become aware, we realize we have a conscious mind, and how we direct that conscious mind determines the experience we have in human form. It is our ability to choose. But if we're not using that conscious mind, it's very difficult. We won't make a choice. We'll keep living Groundhog Day after Groundhog Day. The human subjective mind performs within me all the roles of the universal subjective mind in the cosmos. In reality, my subjective mind merges with the universal subjective. It really doesn't merge. It's a part of the universal. Thus, I am an individualized expression of God at the point of my conscious perception. Each of us is an individualization of the one. My physical body is the vehicle through which I function in the physical universe. With my human senses and emotions, I experience the events and conditions of the world of affairs. These experiences are effects and subject to conscious change. It allows you to experience that which you put into creative form. Because why be in human form if you can't experience what you're creating? That's why there will always be contrast in human form. Because without contrast, there's no possible way for you to experience the creation in front of you. There's no such thing as bad creation. There's only creation and how we experience it. The manifest universe is the body of God. It is the logical and necessary outcome of the infinite self-knowingness of God. For God to self-know itself, it has to have the body, which is the universe. For us to self-know ourselves, we have to have a body and experience to be self-aware. The triune nature is both universal and it's human. It helps us to see the beauty, the allness from the perspective of how magnificent life is. So let's take a moment and know that. Let's understand and know that the universal intelligence that is you and that is me, we're consciously aware of it. And as we're consciously aware of it, it is working in and through and as us. And as such, in that awareness, we have reclaimed our power. We've taken back our power. We're no longer subject to average. We're conscious creators, thinking for ourselves, coming up with new ideas, implanting those new ideas in the subconscious mind, and allowing that subconscious mind to birth that experience in our body and in our affairs. Life is a playground. I invite you to play. I invite you to think of new games, new thoughts, to implant within the subconscious mind so that you can have new and more magnificent experiences and realize that this playground you're playing in, it's infinite. It knows no limitations. So let's embody that and be grateful that we have been given the opportunity to experience, to create, to share, to be one with life itself. How good it is. How good it is. And so it is. So together, let's do our treatment for financial freedom. I live in gratitude, knowing that I am financially free to do what I want, when I want, and how I want. And so it is. You see, in those words, I'm actually using my conscious mind to implant that thought into my subconscious, which in turn, if I do not dig it up, will birth exactly what I've implanted. So I invite you, if you receive benefit from this message, support us. Make a donation to Agape so that we can continue to bring and expand this work to the world. You can text to give by looking at the number in front of you. You can scan the QR code, or you can go to agapespiritualcenter.com and make a donation online that way. While you're at agapespiritualcenter.com, sign up for my daily thoughts and our weekly newsletter. The QR code there is available for you, or go to Agape Spiritual Center. Become a part of our mailing list. We've got so many exciting things that we'll be offering in 2022. Don't let them fall away. There's so many ways that you can plug in. We've got, every morning we have meditations at 7 a.m. We got Thoughts That Can Change Your Life on Facebook and YouTube at 8 a.m. We have weekly in-person meditation. We have weekly in-person services as well as live stream services. And we also have gatherings Wednesday afternoon and Wednesday evening. But what we're about to do is we're about to start offering classes beginning Monday, January 17th. I'll be offering an afternoon and an evening class that day, and it's on the Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles. So if you're looking to increase your abundance and your prosperity, this class might be one that you will benefit from. Also, on Tuesday evenings, I will be doing a 7-week class on understanding and working with the chakras. So if you're interested in getting a clearer understanding about the chakras, this class might be the one for you, and you can sign up online. We have a special program called Abundance in Motion at Agape. If you're a gold level giver, $200 a month, automated, all classes are free. If you're a silver level giver, $100 a month, classes are half off. Also, if you're a gold, you'll get a half-hour consultation with me once a month. You can sign up for that at agapespiritualcenter.com. Become a part of our community by becoming an automated giver. Because as you become an automated giver, we give back. We understand that life is circular. And so we're trying to do this in a way that benefits you. We've got classes all year long that will benefit you. Trust me, it will be worth your time and your investment. If you're looking for prayer, we have 4 magnificent practitioners, Jean Wolak, Doreen Breedlove, and Jean and Susie Morrissey. You can find their information on our website, and they would love to pray with you. The last thing I've got is I don't have a slide right now, but if you want, go to Amazon and look up Lee Wolak or The Power in You. My book is now out there to be purchased, both in Kindle and in paperback. I would love for you to get a copy of this book. It is the finest work that I've ever done. It's taken me 2 years to get this book done, and I am extremely proud because of the practicality that I think when you read it, you'll find that you truly do have power to change your life. So go order it today. Don't order it just for yourself, order it for your friends as well. With that, I want to wish you a happy day. Make it your best day ever, and create the life that you dream of. Until next week.